Alrighty, everyone. Welcome into day 24 of the free-to-play journey. I felt like we've made it to a point in the series that we deserve to do a full recap of the things that we have learned along the way and just give some insight for people who are just now starting the game. So if there's newer players that are 1, 2, 3 days in, this video is 100% going to be for you. What we're going to do is the top 5 tips that I believe going through this free-to-play account. This is my 4th account for Reverse 1999. So I have my Dolphin account, which is pretty much every character in the game except for Voyager and I believe Druvis, which we ended up getting Druvis on this one. And I got Voyager on another account as well. And then we have another account where we just didn't summon at all, and I stopped playing that one like right after the patch with Koalabwana and Shamaine. I got kind of bored of it. It was just the same old characters over and over again, but I was just proving a point that everything can be done with just the characters that you get within the game without summoning. So anyways, in no particular order, except for maybe the last one, we're going to get into this, and these are the things that I think will best help you progress your account now that we've done this 4 times, and we've gotten a lot of insight from the community and comments and stuff like that as well, guiding us along the way in this free-to-play one. So let's go ahead and hop right in. So first off, I wanted to start with something that I feel like is very important that I did kind of wrong in the beginning on this account, but we're obviously leveling it out, which all accounts will level out over time, is being more precise with the first 6 characters that you're going to build up. So a better way to utilize resources that you get on a daily basis and who to put them into. This is going to be very simple. It's going to be open, so that way you guys can understand it in a way for your account, and you're not just looking at this one or other ones online and trying to mimic and match those. First and foremost, we want to build 2 teams because 2 teams allow us to progress through Limbo, and they allow you to progress through the artificial somnambulism, which offers a bi-weekly reward of clear drops and other resources and stuff that do help your account progress with summons and building up characters. So with that being said, we definitely want to have our main DPSs per element at some point, or Afflatus at some point. But in the beginning, it's okay to rush 2 DPSs, 2 healers, and 2 supports to have at least 6 balanced characters that can allow you to progress through different parts of the story mode and Limbo and stuff like that, as I said. On this account, we kind of rushed the event, or not the event, but the opening beginning tale. We rushed this one in hopes that the rewards and everything from here would benefit us in a way to push us ahead. I'm on the fence with that because as it did allow us to get to the point where we're at, which we should be able to clear Limbo 3 by tomorrow and Limbo 4 possibly the same day or the day after, it did leave us in a predicament where we've only allowed 1 character to hit I3. I'm almost 100% positive that 3 weeks in we should have 2 I3 characters. This is the only reason that we fell into this predicament, is because we put resources into characters that we wanted to use long term, but they weren't really benefiting us in the short term game of the progression. So as for example, I put a lot of resources into Satsuki, Bicorn Bloom, Necrologist, Sweetheart, Eagle, and who else? Apple and Lilani and Matilda. So we have about 6 characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I would say 8 characters that we didn't really need to do this in the long term. We were just trying to progress at a certain pace that I thought was viable for short term. But I disagree with that kind of pattern at this point, because we've kind of made the mistakes and we've learned from them, which is always great. especially when you're watching content and you can learn from the mistakes of the content rather than making those mistakes yourself. But regardless, mistakes can be flipped and they can be utilized for good later on, but much later on, maybe the second month or something like that once we get to that point. But right now we're still in the first month. So first tip is utilize your resources for 2 DPSs, 2 supports, and 2 healers. I would say that is going to give you the optimal account progression when it comes to the resources you're using on the characters. Next up, something that I took much longer than I wanted to do was maxing out the wilderness. This one's going to be very short, simple, easy to understand. Is obviously we know we get daily resources, or every 8 hours this fills up to 100%. So 3 times a day, basically we get 100% of the resources going into this. Also, along with the wilderness, you get a character bond. So the character bond is good because it unlocks clear drops. And the more clear drops you have, obviously we all know, allows us to make more summons. So this is something that you want to utilize as fast as possible. It allows you to get more clear drops for more summons, as we just said, and more resources and stuff like that for the long run. It's something that I truly recommend knocking it out as fast as your account possibly can. I think that's the best way to go about that. Next up, we're going to basically touch back on this because I feel like this is a great source of resources that you get, but it doesn't necessarily need to be rushed. I think if we held off on this and we set our goals on clearing this out before the first month ended, would have been a better projection of what we actually get from this versus using the stamina to purely push specific characters to higher insights, higher resonance, and overall just higher levels with those characters. So going for their resource materials and going for the items and stuff to push them up, I think that would have been better in regards to pushing that event very quickly, because that event, it does give you back the materials for most of the characters that you push up in their different afflatuses and stuff that it asks you to do. But I feel like it's not truly worth the stamina to directly go for that one. Next up is going to be number 3, which I think is very important. I think this is why most people enjoy watching content, is because it allows you to plan and roadmap your account ahead of time, because we already know what characters will be released, because we have the luxury of seeing into the future with the other servers. That I think a very important thing is, this is kind of tying into the last tip and this tip together. Overall, play the game at your own pace. There's no PvP aspect to this. There's no leaderboards or anything like that that require you to truly get on, 5-6 hours a day and grind out every piece of content that you possibly can, or 2-3 hours, whatever the stamina cost is, and refresh them over and over. I feel like the game has been very rewarding for a free-to-play account and allowing me to get through some of the in-game content before the first month is over. When I look at in-game content of any game, there is always going to be 2 or 3 different tiers of different types of players and stuff like that. Number 1 is going to be your spenders and whales, or even people who are like speed running or trying to rush through the game. I enjoy to do that. It's something that I have fun doing, but it's not necessary, because once you finish everything, you get stuck in a lull where you're spending only 20 minutes on the game to blow through your 190 or 180 stamina, and then you're kind of off the game for the rest of the day, unless you're just going back in limbo and redoing the stages, seeing what kind of teams you can use to beat them. It takes away from the the overall appeal of getting on a game and playing it, rather than just getting on to have a job and do your dailies and stuff like that. So I feel like have fun with your account. Have fun with the idea that every character is going to come back around at some point. So it's not truly like you're just missing out on something. You're just not getting it right now. And that's why I say plan ahead, is because there are certain characters that obviously will progress your account in a linear kind of fashion. and allow you to get more resources, so that way later on you're not having to spend on those type of characters anymore because you already have teams built up. It allows you to diversify your account and diversify the kind of teams that you can build. So on that note, please just enjoy the game to its fullest. It has a great story that I feel like they've put a ton of work into all of the characters and these events that come out and stuff like that. And what's great is one event ends, it seems like we've been getting the next event very soon after, or not right after that event ends. So there's always going to be content to do. And even if you're going at a slower pace, like myself with this event, we still haven't finished off all of these different materials and stuff like that. We still have some summons that we can do here. We still have some summons to do here, and we haven't even touched these at all. Obviously, leaving this one for very last if we even get to that point. We've gotten all the beneficial things from these, except for some of the materials I'd like to grab. But yeah, just have fun with your account. Plan ahead on certain characters by watching other creators, by watching the free-to-play journey, and just have fun. Just overall have fun with Reverse 1990. It's a great game, and I'm so happy to be part of the community as well. And I'm excited whenever you guys leave comments and we can kind of conversate back and forth between it about the game, your ideas, my ideas, and shoot it back and forth. But anyways, guys, this was the top 5 tips for new players and or reoccurring players that have already had their accounts. I think if you focus on these things, it will definitely benefit you in the long run and allow you to progress at a good pace and have fun with the game. Thank y'all so much. As always, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all in the next video.